What's good with it, YouTube? You already know Big Flacco with a convict's perspective. And as you already know, I'm going to smash, dash, and slide on through with a whole lot of energy, man, because I got something that's going to be good today. It's going to be very interesting. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, and do all the stuff to help support this channel. And what the video today is going to be about is street regiment policies and procedures. And I, for one, have a lot of experience, man, and have seen different implementations, things that kind of are modified depending on what the circumstances are, whether things are on freeze out there in the streets or whether directions are coming from a higher authority and whatnot, higher command, brass and whatnot. But these are basically, the ones you're going to see today are basically almost identical to the ones that we used to function under in some form or fashion or the other. Okay. So we're going to get straight to it, man, and see what you guys think about this. Long morning already. Here we go, man. Let's get this going right here. I got to get this looking bigger right here. Okay, here we go. Northern California regiment policies. The following policies have been drafted and implemented for all functioning members of this regiment. To function, a soldado must be cleared by the regiment leader, underboss, or regiment commander at Pelican Bay State Prison. The regiment will have 5 soldados in key positions. These entail the regiment leader, the second in command, the secretary crew boss, the financial crew boss, and the communication crew boss. Everyone cleared to function will be in one of these crews or holding a position. Any northern function will only do so under Nuestra Familia guidance. They can hold positions or be put in a crew. He will be able to request an honorable discharge after 6 months of service if they want to, but this must be cleared by a C. Once a soldado has been cleared to function, he will be assigned to a crew and will be expected to abide by the following regiment laws. 1. A functioning soldado will not use any hard drugs, i.e. coke, heroin, crank, PCP, etc. Alcohol and marijuana are okay if it is not excessive or hinders a soldado's ability to be an asset to the regiment. If this privilege is abused, he will be told to give it up. While conducting any business, all soldados are to be sober. If a soldado uses drugs, it will result in him being fined $250, payable to the regiment bank for the first offense. If it happens again, he will have his membership in the regiment stripped or be expelled unless he's a C. Then he will answer to headquarters. All soldados must follow orders without any questions and responsive obedience. 2. All soldados who find themselves in a financial crunch and need to borrow some money from the regiment bank, they can request this from his boss. All soldados must understand that this is a loan and must be paid back in a reasonable time. Any loan over $100 comes with a 10% interest fee. 3. No soldado is to undertake their own personal ventures freelance without authorization from the proper authority. All members of this regiment, no matter what crew you are in or what position you hold, are required to make money legally or illegally or both ways. 4. If a soldado is sent back to prison, he no longer has a role in the street regiment. If he goes to mainline, he is to try to find a mule to bring in dope and go to work for Pelican Bay State Prison. Once he paroles, he is to check back in with his crew, but while in the county jail, both main branch are under the regiment's leader's authority. Any soldado who is locked up in the county is to ensure he gets in contact with the communication crew boss or crew members overseeing the county jail functions. While in the county, he is to school, teach, and organize. He is also to capitalize on moving dope inside the county jail if possible. If he has quality manpower around him who are going home soon and want to function, he can recommend this and send all information concerning the prospect to his contact with the communication crew. 5. Sorry, guys, this is a little hard to read. 5. All crew members are to work as a team, share info, ideas, suggestions, and experiences with one another, and push the ideas as a whole forward. No crew member is to go more than 2 days without checking in with his crew boss. If a crew member is going out of town or he is not going to be ready to be accounted for, any reason, he is to ensure his crew boss knows how long he will be gone ahead of time. The crew member is to check out and check in once he returns. No soldado. Let me get to the second part, guys. Bam. Okay, this is a key one right here, guys, because this is what I went through. No soldado should put woman, money, or any other material item before our regiment and or his fellow soldados. Now, I'm going to point out this before I go forward. Now, that's part of the NF Constitution, but it's worded a little bit different. Okay, so that's actually one of the articles. The regiment and its best interests are first and foremost. All soldados are expected to treat their highness with respect and not abuse them, mentally or physically. All soldados must function on a high level of discipline. Never do we discuss sensitive business on the phone. This type of business is to be kept on huilas or in person. There will not be hits. There will not be any big regiment meetings either. Furthermore, no soldado is to discuss our regimental business with a ruca or anyone outside of our regiment. When discussing business, our regiment, keep it within your crew, and if it is highly sensitive, only between you and your crew boss. All functioning soldados want to remain low-key and present yourself as a family man to society. Your crew boss should not have to hold your hand, babysit you, or watch you through a microscope. You are trusted members of this regiment, and you are fully responsible for your actions. 6. All soldados will conduct themselves in a professional manner at all times. All will show the utmost respect, love, carnalismo, and loyalty for his fellow soldados, and be there for one another in the context of a close-knit family. All will be required to seek out and develop resources that will be valuable assets to the regiment. It is absolutely imperative that we establish a business-friendly image towards other money makers on the streets. The idea is to push away from the violent and bloodthirsty image that people tend to view the Nuestra Familia and its associates, and as this type of image is bad for business. There are a lot of big money makers, legal and illegal, who resources we need, but they are hesitant or unwilling to work with the reg due to past negative experiences. We need to change that perception to be more business friendly. So when others think about doing business with us, they feel good about doing business with us because we can be trusted. We are reliable, and it's financially beneficial for all. We must establish a solid first-rate business reputation. Do not burn people. Do not try to get over on people. Do not do business straight up and real. 7. No soldado is to ever disrespect any other soldado, whether he is on the streets functioning or in the pinta. Nor will he disrespect his family or ruca. His ruca should be viewed as your sister. His family or is how your family is now your family. If you ever want to be sexually involved with another soldado's family member, you already get his blessing first. Fuck. No soldado is to feel inferior to a soldado with a higher with their family member or Heina. Shit. No soldado is to feel inferior to a soldado with a higher status than him or who is in a regiment position. Nor will those with status or a position think they are superior because of their status or position. All of us are obligated to work together in unity and in harmony. There is no lying, gossiping, or spreading false rumors. Speak old things that do not concern you. Do not speak old things that do not concern you or put your nose where it does not belong. You are to focus on your role in the regiment and let others. Hold on, guys. And let others. I can't see this right now. Focus on their roles. There is to be no internal confrontation, individualism, or homeboy favoritism in this regiment. All are to strive for respect and social status of equality. This comes raising ourselves out of lower income brackets in society. Dress presentable, not like cholos or thugs. Walking and talking normal and with education. You are functioning with the mob, NF. You'll be required to live up to its standards. See, I'm already reading a lot of stuff. They're pulling a lot of the stuff from the bonds, believe it or not, and they're trying to implement it on the streets. All klecha will be set up by crew bosses and will be in regards to your crew's functions, and the causes as a whole. How to function inside, outside of prison. Okay, this is kind of a little interesting. Okay, we're getting there, guys. Sorry, man. This stuff is hard to read, so I'm doing my best, but you guys are getting a little detailed account of how this stuff operates. So let's get to the next one. Bam. Okay, this one should be easier to read. All right, give me 1 second. Pull this up. Weaponry, drugs, how to do removals, FM bombs, concepts, history, 7 phases, etc. Also, those will be expected to stay fit by working out. So we never really did collect you on the streets, man. You know, if we did, it would be basic, man, but it was all about focusing on the street preparation. All that stuff was supposed to be left for behind the wall. Now, if you had never been to prison and you got pulled as far as having status, you would have to get a little bit of clutch up, but they would be expected for someone to undertake more responsibility once you get locked up. Number 9, okay, any information you have or get on threats in this county, bulldogs, rats, sued, etc., PC, etc., you are to file a full report to your channel. This includes car description, home address, who lives there, where they work or hang out, etc. This also applies to anyone you know who is slinging dope or involved in any illegal activities. Blacks, Indios, Asians slinging dope. All soldados in this regiment are obligated to do battle for this regiment in the situation. We will protect our regiment and its interests to the fullest. Number 10, in the event a soldado is arrested and or is questioned by any law enforcement agency, he is expected to exercise his Miranda rights and remain silent. If pushed, request an attorney. Do not be intimidated. Do not try to make up a story. You are not to answer their questions, period. Also, never expose yourself to possible rats or informants. 11. Those of you on parole must really shield yourself from overexposure. You must avoid petty parole violations. Do not take risks like clubbing, etc., where you can get in a mix and get a petty violation or be in a public with other parolees. If you are moving dope, always try to secure it so if you are searched, it's not easy to find. Be smart. It's crucial we stay out here and secure our regiments. You must relax your parole officer and follow your parole conditions. Your parole address is to be clean at all times. No dope there. 12. All soldados must be discreet when doing regiment business. Stay out of the limelight and away from hot areas. Conduct business during the day, evening, and try to be home at night. Do not be running the streets, partying, etc. Focus on making your money and your role in this regiment, not the party scene. Number 13, any functioning member of a regiment requests to bring in new recruits into its crew or the regiment as a whole. But by making such a request, you are giving your word of honor that this person is solid and will be an asset to us, not a headache or dead weight. You must trust this person with your own life, and you are fully responsible for them, making sure he fully understands what he is obligating himself to. If you want to bring someone in, you must submit your crew boss a full profile of said prospect, explaining why you feel this prospect is worthy. How can he contribute? We only want quality soldados, no dope fiends. Your crew boss will filter your request up, who will either grant this or reject this request. If approved, said new member still has the same status, Northern Norteño. You and only function is in a Nuestra Familia regiment, and according to NF protocol. Advancement in status from Northern to Norteño or Norteño to Carnal is another entirely different process. 14, it is our responsibility to build up Raza associates who fall under the Norteño label and who represent the Norte. This means we must take time to educate all Raza coming up in the barrio, and they represent the Norte and as Nuestra Familia associates. Ever since our forefathers crossed the so-called U.S.-Mexican border, we have been labeled norteños. La M has poisoned the vast amount of raza from down south and taken the label sureños so that La M can use these vatos as shields and as their puppets. It is our duty to reverse this. This is getting deep, huh? Yes, nothing I've never seen before, but you guys are probably all new to it. Okay. Now there's one more missing right here. Let me see if I can find it. As mentioned, 25% of anything you profit is to be turned over to the regiment bank. In addition to 25%, the members of the regiment will be required. Let me blow this up real quick. Okay. In addition to the 25%, the members of this regiment will be required to submit a $50 due to their regiment bank every month. This $50 can be given to your crew boss. Each member is to strive to turn in at least $250 per month. The more you make, the more you turn in. The more you turn in, the more merit you will earn in the regiment. In the event of a freeze, or if you ever get cut off for a period of time from your crew, you are to hold this 25% until you can turn it in. 18. At no time is a soldado to recklessly jeopardize his freedom on the streets. If you are making a lot of illegal money, save some for a rainy day. Also spend it wisely so you are not spending it on things that show up on paper. Spend it on things that don't show up on paper, like clothes, food, and yourself with your family. Things like rent and bills with your legal check, as this leaves a paper trail. Number 19, no soldados ever take matters into his own hands. If you are ever disrespected, done wrong, you simply report it to your crew boss. We will deal with it accordingly, and retribution will fit the offense. Never is a soldado to lay hands or spill blood of another soldado. See, that happens all the time where people get away with shit. And see, this is to basically safeguard their investment. If they feel like they have someone that's going to benefit them financially, they don't want him to get touched up, even if he's wrong. That happens all the time. In the event, number 20, in the event of an incident and regiment leadership taken off the streets and you are left on the streets, you are to secure yourself, reorganize, and stay legit until you find out who is snitching. If no one has contacted you after 30 days, you are to discreetly make contact with an authority behind the walls so instructions can be relayed to you. 21. In the event of a Nuestra Familia declared war, or if law enforcement is coming down on us hard, there will be a freeze. A half freeze simply means to stay legit, stay away from illegal activities for the time, and be expecting law enforcement raids. A full freeze means do not contact anyone in the regiment. Just stay legal and await instructions. During a freeze, you are not to smoke weed or drink. You are to be alert and ready to spring into action if called upon. Freeze can last for weeks, so be patient and disciplined. We are in this for the long term. 22. Any questions you may have about these policies are to be directed to your channel. You are responsible to follow them in the concepts anyone in violation of these policies will be disciplined, fined, or expelled depending upon the offense. We welcome you into the street regiment with open arms and with a desire to see you flourish. Bam. Oh man, this is kind of long, huh, guys? Okay, so that's a little bit, gives you a little bit of insight into the street regiments and the different type of positions. They kind of started to change things after a while. After I think 2000, I forgot what year it was, but they started to have smaller crews, and they pair you with like maybe 2 to 3 man crews. And the reason why is to eliminate people being exposed, or if someone gets caught up, that the whole regiment wouldn't get taken down. And because of the aftermath of Operation Black Widow and all the banks being taken, and a lot of NF members being up in the Bay and Corcoran and different locations, they started doing a pay roster, which was you get a roster of every NF member, and instead of giving back to the main bank for a while, you would put your money in the regiment bank and also to certain C's every month. So you would maybe take care of the C's in the Bay, and you know what I mean? Maybe the C's in Corcoran, maybe the C's that are facing indictment in Fresno, Monterey County, wherever they may be. And it was basically like you're kicking in every month. You know what I'm saying? Now, probably by now, they're probably kicking everything into a main bank. But see, what ends up happening, right, and they've learned from this, is once you're supposed to establish a bank under 10,000 and then reestablish another bank and another bank. And these are all things to be invested in. Like we used to put money into adjustable bonds, launder our money do like tattoo shops, clubs, barber shops, different things of that nature. You know, there's supposed to be a paying scale that's given to certain soldados based upon your service and how much you contribute. So, like, say if you've been out there for like 5 years and you're kicking in like $1,000, 2,000 a month, that's a lot of money. And so that money, part of that money gets invested. But I've never seen anybody get paid based upon that. Now, I've heard recently that there's been certain C's who have had plus 23 years in service that they're getting paid every month based upon the service they provided. You know, that's something that's new. And I think that's mainly because now today they're making a lot of money on these main lines, man. I mean, people thought I was bullshitting like 2 years ago when I said that I heard one of the yards was making like 30,000 a month. Now everybody realizes I'm not bullshitting. They're making that kind of money out there, you know. But you know, the thing is that me reading these, it brings back a lot of fucking memories, man. Like, because some of the stuff we were enforcing, but like we never tried to incorporate the bonds and formats out there in the streets because we felt that those were meant for behind the walls. Now, if I was pulling a soldado as a bro out there in the streets, which is very rare, you know, in order to get pulled as an soldado on the streets, you have to be functioning first and foremost, because when you parole from prison, you leave your status behind the walls. You don't take it with you to the streets. But you get those that want to strive, they want to become bros, so you end up recruiting them out there on the streets. Then you maybe take action as far as your education, but you're already teaching them how to function out there in the streets and to be an NF associate. Because when you're out there in the Gaius, see, this is what people don't realize. You could be a northerner and holding the same rank and position of a C out there on the streets as a northerner if you prove to be worthy. You know, the business acumen, the success, how to delegate positions, how to provide security. If you're able to stay out like that and generate income, you could be in a position of authority, because it's like the mob. You know what I'm saying? How you have your members and you have your associates. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it applies. You fall under NF law. You have the same rank and status as a C out there. You know, that's why for those that have been out there and like me, the one thing about me is when I stepped out, I was out for a while. I'd have like 4 or 5 regiment commanders within a year and a half. And I did things a little bit different. I wouldn't put myself in certain positions and to bring attention to myself at times. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was known out there, but then again, they didn't know the extent of what I was doing. I would start to build little things around me, like to safeguard myself. Like I was more into this, man. And I made a lot of money. I wasn't trying to make a fucking killing off everything I was getting. If I'm getting this much weight every week, I don't got to be making fucking like double up my money on everything I get, because I'm moving so much fucking product that I'm going to generate my income, you know. And, you know, you see the word expulsion, that's technically in the NF Constitution as well. When someone's called for their expulsion or being expelled, basically, right? It means to be forced out. It means you're no good. But they would fine you. And for those that are like higher ranking C's that they have expectations of, you come out, you get locked up for a petty violation, man. You got to answer for that shit, man. The procedures that used to be was that anybody coming off the streets, you're supposed to be put on freeze. But see, there's a catch-22 to that, because there was so much good communication at that time that they would already be cleared. But back in the days, if a C came through, he was supposed to be freezed till you got clearance from the GOP that he was in good standings. And the GOP would have to do his cross-check to the SRG, who would have to contact the SRC out there, and it'd go through a whole different steps, and it'd take maybe like any from 2 weeks to 6 weeks to find out. But that would be safeguarding yourself, because you never know what may have happened. And see, there's been people who have known to use their status to come in somewhere and try to, you know, get information, try to pull rank and whatnot. And if you have any type of education and any type of backing of the right people, you could withstand any type of threat or direction that they come at you. I've had to do that a few times, you know what I'm saying, when I was really young in my career. And but I had to play my cards right. You have to kind of pacify these individuals. It's just like the state fed thing. When all that was going, we were pacifying all sides. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't want to get caught up in it. All we knew was just produce money and take care of certain carnals. That's all we knew. And we did that. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this, man. This is a little bit interesting. These are some street regiment procedures that were implemented out there in the Gaius. I've seen other ones I actually have, but I'm not going to put them out there. And it talks about the transition of change at one time when they started to operate with smaller crews. You know, the whole purpose of a regiment is to have basically a foundation to where your presence is out there, and you have crews that are operating under one RC to where each crew is bringing in forth money. You know what I'm saying? You could have 3 regiments operating in one area at times. You know what I'm saying? You could have one regiment that's operating in about 7 areas or even multiple counties, you know, and you got to look at that. Like, for instance, San Jose, I've seen it to where there's like 7 regiments out there before, and each one of them probably had about anywhere from 4 to 10 people working with them. Okay. Then you had South County, though, Gilroy, Morgan Hill. And then you had Salinas. Salinas got a lot of, always had strong regiments. Then you have Sacramento. Then you have like Merced. Then you have Modesto. Then you have Tulare County. Then you have San Francisco. Then you have Santa Rosa. Then you have East Bay. So you have all these different regiments, and they're all contributing something every month. You know what I'm saying? According to which channel they're reporting to. So think about that. With all these people, and we had the same mandate, except for it was $150 if you were just doing legal stuff. Then it was $200 if you were getting dough from the regiment. You know what I'm saying? That's how it used to operate. You know what I'm saying? And see, there was a difference. You could be part of a crew, but not functioning. You were assisting a crew. So there's those that are counted on the books. And if you're counted on the books, it means everything that you contribute, the organization has logged. Like, I was one that was accounted on the books ever since I stepped out. Everything I put into the O was accounted for. You know what I'm saying? I put in a lot of fucking money, man. You know, in the beginning, I was just, emulating different styles of how to run my operations and stuff. And I was able to keep on growing. I think by the end, I was kicking in a whole lot of fucking money, man. I had so much going on. It seemed like I was freelancing at times. You know what I'm saying? And, there's a common thing amongst fucking the canals out there, right? Amongst everybody, that certain things that you're doing don't report. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, get a little money for yourself. You know what I mean? That was one common thing that was also said out there, man. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this, man. This is a little bit different. I think I'm just going to premiere this right now, man, because, this is something a little bit different, man. I kind of want to see what kind of questions you have, and I hope I covered it as best as I could. With that said, it's your boy Flacco, Convict's Perspective. I'm gone.